2022 Highlander still has the V6 in it. You know, it's not particularly quick, but it is fun to ring it out, and it is loud. There was 60 on the dot. It is pretty loud when you push it, and I would say 0 to like 25, 30 is pretty quick. So that's really what soccer moms need to get to point A to point B, right?
Yeah.
All right, so Cassie's here doing the review with us today. We got a couple of the kiddos in the back. We're gonna go pick up like what? 3 more kids, 2 of our own, and then another one.
Carpooler.
So
I feel like it fits 7 really well.
It does fit 7 well. Yeah,
pretty
I mean,
comfortably as well.
Last week we were in a Tiguan, and that was
not
awfully tight for 7, and we have small kids, and it was way too tight. So yeah, it's going to be no problem swallowing up a bunch of 1st and 2nd graders essentially.
Yeah. Easy in, easy out too. I feel like there's lots of space.
Ingress, egress is good back there in that 2nd row.
I mean,
3rd row has good enough space for short, little tiny little kids.
For little kids, perfect.
I didn't see like vents in that 3rd row, I don't think, and I didn't see like chargers back there. Which is strange. Even though we have like we have 2 USB-C chargers in 2nd row and like a household plug-in in that 2nd row. I don't remember seeing any in the 3rd row. And this is the Platinum model, the top line. So you'd think they would throw that in. If we look at the Sienna, we reviewed the Sienna a couple times, which is made in the same factory in this as in Princeton, Indiana. Like that's a better vehicle overall, and we'll get into reasons why. But like in that 3rd row, has vents back there, has chargers, probably more cup holders. Like
a lot more extras.
Yeah, it's just easier to live in, and we essentially live in our vehicles. Can you live in this? Of course you can. For $50K, essentially, this vehicle just gives you a ton. I have like digital rear view mirror, huge screen. Only a portion of it is going to be Android Auto with the wired connection here, which like the cord goes up through the middle. We have heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, pretty good safety features overall. 360 camera is pretty low resolution, but at least you have it.
At least you have it, right? You can deal.
It's easy to see the dimensions of the vehicle with that 360 camera, even though it's a little blurry. So I mean, this thing's, I don't know if I mentioned head-up display, but yeah, it's just, and a panel roof, like I could keep going. The leather seats are comfortable. We have the ventilated seats going right now, which I can actually feel them just a little bit. You typically notice them more than me.
You know, I do, and I haven't really noticed it in this car. I don't know why.
I don't think they're that strong. I think that's what it is. What do you think about this the exterior of the car?
Not a fan of the color, but the exterior body I think it looks great. It looks kind of like a van.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the opulent amber. Was it opulent amber?
Opulent amber, yes. So it's shiny and speckled, it looks like.
But more importantly, shiny and speckled, a dark
brown.
Brown with orange and red hues.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty awful.
It's not my favorite.
But here's the thing, I was looking on the builder online, and right now you can only get 1 exterior color and 1 interior color. You can't even get this light beige color, which would be the color to get, in my opinion. I think they kind of have like a caramel color, which would be okay, but then they also have a few other like darker colors, and we're just not darker color interior people.
Lighter colors keep the car cooler, right?
Yeah,
so
totally.
It's just easier that way.
Absolutely. We're gonna get into the brakes here, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard to predict the stopping distance. It feels heavy when you're braking.
Right, it does.
You initially hit the pedal and you expect the vehicle to slow down, but it just kind of continues its momentum, and you have to keep burying your foot into the pedal more so. It's like, it takes quite a bit of effort to get this vehicle to a stop. I forgot one more other feature. There's a wireless charger in here that kind of slides open. You said that's like a James Bond hinted thing.
Yes, it's very cool. Although I will say I've forgotten my phone in there pretty much every single time I've been in the car.
Well, that's so interesting. Convenient. Other manufacturers will let you know that you left your phone in the charger. I don't think Toyota does.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've always not realized.
Right. I mean, I forget. It's easy to forget when it's hidden away. All right, so I think we should talk about this interior because there is a lot going on. And the engine just turned on from the stop, and it's jarring. Oh, there is a transport.
Car park.
So, let's turn the old blinker. Good thing we have blind spot monitor in here. Letting me know.
Nice.
Always nice. We're gonna merge in. What were we talking about? The interior, how busy it is?
It's a little much.
You mean 4 different materials isn't too much?
Right. Yeah, it's a little much, and they go well unless you look too close, and then it's like, oh, I don't know if that really matches. match as well.
I think the brown and the beige go together.
Yes, but then you throw this chrome, silver thing.
Silver shiny plastic, and then you have like this wood on the door and aluminum on the chrome aluminum. Like, there's just a lot of materials in here. It doesn't seem cohesive. It just seems like they threw whatever they had in here.
I kind of want to wow you, so like look at all the different things we can wow you with.
I don't necessarily want to be wowed in a practical vehicle. I want it to look clean. Like both you and I enjoy like mid-century modern, very minimal, maybe like Swedish interior. That's why we like Volvo interiors so much too. Yeah.
Keep it classy.
Yeah, keep it classy. I can't say this interior is, it is comfortable. It's nice.
Yes.
There's a lot of amenities.
It's very soft. That's
and we have this interesting compartments that are just kind of hidden. We're putting stuff in them for the first time because there's not that much actually cup holders.
Yeah.
So there's 2 cup holders here. And we actually got a situation this morning when we stopped by Dunkin' randomly waiting. That's why there's so much Dunkin' Donuts in the B-roll. We were early to their ballet class, essentially. Right. So we stopped and got Dunkin' Donuts, and we're like, where do we put all our stuff? Because there's 2 cup holders here. I guess you can put it in the door, but the door's not secure.
I tried. I tried to fit the small Dunkin' cup, and it wouldn't fit.
Okay, so useless. And then the next closest cup holders are behind or between the 2 middle row seats, which is not really useful.
No.
And
it's not easy for like the people sitting in the back to grab their drinks, I suppose, because then they'd have to kind of unbuckle and reach.
Well, for the kids, especially,
it's but vice.
There's a Toyota Sienna, the new generation, turning right there. And I mentioned this is built in the same plant as that. They look fairly similar on the outside, especially when you look like A-pillar all the way back. The Sienna is, as much as you dislike the looks of minivans, this does look a lot like the Sienna.
It does.
And it drives a lot like the Sienna, but like this minivan coming from an older Sienna, the Sienna hybrid is better than this. It's not all the way around better, right? The sliding doors is better for a family. Yeah. The immense amount of cargo space, like you probably have 3 to 4 times the amount of cargo than you do in this behind the 3rd row.
Right. You can't put a stroller in the back, really.
Yeah, maybe stroller, but nothing else.
Okay, yeah. It's a very thin stroller, and that's about it. It doesn't hold a lot of groceries.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we took a Sam run in this, and then we stopped at Trader Joe's and Whole Foods afterwards. And yeah, the back filled up just from Sam's alone. Then we were putting stuff in the 2nd row, which wouldn't really be an option if you had adults in the 2nd row.
Right.
Since our kids' legs don't go past their child seats. Yeah, it's a bit tight, and that's where something like a minivan is just like the Swiss Army knife. Not only does it get better fuel economy than this, but so much more space for the kids to move around, so much more space in the 3rd row, more amenities in the 3rd row, more cargo space. Now that Sienna's all hybrid, you can get that same hybrid setup in this vehicle, and that's the one I would recommend for most people, because as much as I like the smoothness of this V6 and sort of the power it gives you, it's still not that much power in my opinion. 295 does not go very far in a vehicle that's this large. And then I'm getting less than 20 miles per gallon. The Sienna gets you 35 plus.
Oh, wow.
And so I would happily give up a 20, 30 horsepower, whatever that is in that vehicle. It might be a little bit more, because I think that's like 240, 245 maybe. Anyways, I would happily give up a little bit of horsepower that I can't use in this situation anyways.
Right, you can't really use it in
the city. And we're driving in city 95% of the time.
Yeah.
And unless we go to Miami, but even then it's going to be, that
just 2 hours, not even.
Saving so much on gas with the hybrid.
Yeah, it's worth it.
And the turning off and on of the engine in the hybrid is night and day difference in terms of smoothness as well. If you're getting a Highlander, I highly recommend the hybrid if you can find one.
Yeah.
The V6 is it's pretty thirsty. 20 miles per gallon is probably best case scenario in town.
Yikes, that's not so great for car lines.
It's not great when we sit in car line for a long time.
Yeah.
That's why I like having a hybrid. It would be great because it's going to use that battery more efficiently to cool down the cabin, etc.
So what about families that don't need that 3rd row? What are their options?
Well, I mean, Sienna's still going to give you more cargo space, no doubt.
Right.
But this starts to make a lot more sense in that regard. If you're not occupying that 3rd row, or use it occasionally for carpool or friends. 3 kids is doable, to be honest, because then you could have half the 3rd row half the third row folded down, I think.
Oh, that's nice. So you don't need the whole third row. Okay.
I mean, it drives fine for a large crossover. I have no issues in traffic other than getting used to that brake pedal. You really have to get your foot into it. It's quick with this V6 anyways, merging into traffic, stuff like that. I feel like it's easy to park, especially the 360 camera. It accommodates our family well enough.
Yeah.
Just when there's something that accommodated better, like the Sienna, that'd be a better option for families of 3 to 4 kids like us. But there are some additions, new things coming for the 2023 model year Highlander.
Oh.
So they're actually getting rid of this V6 and replacing it with a turbo 4-cylinder. But it doesn't get any better fuel economy, and it'll have better torque. So it'll be even quicker around town because you can use that torque a little bit better than this V6, but it's really just an even trade. They're redoing this screen.
Okay.
So you're not going to have maybe this power knob and tuning knob, unfortunately, which are nice. You might have one volume knob, but they're going to give you a new updated system when you can do Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wirelessly.
Oh.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
You're going to have a larger digital cluster behind the steering wheel, which is also kind of like a coin flip, because I like the analog gauges here. I think they look good and they make me happy. I look at screens all day, so I don't need...
Oh, remember that it goes over bumps in the road really nicely? I don't know if you have to add that, but...
No. Yeah, I haven't talked about ride quality.
Yeah.
It does handle that.
Really
well.
well.
You're right, yeah. Has a nice long wheelbase, and it's a pretty soft ride overall. So we ran over some, like...
Not potholes, but like construction.
It had like a hazard sign that said bump, and it handled it really, really well.
Really well, compared to our minivan that we have.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Also, the whistling sound, did you want to...
Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing that up, because when I'm talking, I don't hear it.
Yes.
So around like 40 to 50 miles an hour, and when the AC is not pumping, we both hear a loud whistling noise coming around the front of the vehicle. If you're considering a Highlander, make sure you drive your vehicle, turn off the AC so you can hear any weird noises like that whistle, because to me that's a game changer or a deal breaker. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's just not.
It's a deal breaker because
it's annoying.
Who wants to hear the vehicle whistling when you want a quiet experience?
It's true.
You know, a lot of people say like, oh, you know, what's the point of Lexus anymore as well? Well, it's like when you get into modern Toyotas, their build quality isn't as good as Lexus, so you hear sometimes weird whistling noises. Like the door, this door, when you open it, it has like a weird clicking noise that doesn't sound right. Like it opens fine, but it's just like there are little things that are annoyances. The vehicle's not put together in the same manner like a Lexus would be. Now, this vehicle is really the only option in the Toyota Lexus lineup for an SUV that accommodates a family around 50K, because the Lexus doesn't have a 3-row crossover that's not the GX or the LX, and those don't really work for most families because they're either too small for cargo or too expensive.
Right.
What Toyota and Lexus have coming is a larger variant of the Grand Highlander and the Lexus TX, which will be built in, I think, the Indiana plant. I think it might be in the same plant that this is made.
That's great.
So there are options out there if you don't want the minivan, there might be something coming down the hatch that's a bigger version of this. We just don't have information on it. And it's not a big gas hog like the Sequoia, which we really like the Sequoia, but it's not fuel efficient, or something like a Lexus GX or LX. It just... Oh yes, there are some annoying things about this as well. Like if you start merging with with not using your blinker, it wants to shove you back into the lane you're not trying to stay in. So make sure you use your blinker like a good law-abiding citizen.
Right.
And also, we've had some instances where the seatbelt indicator will just beep at us, even though the kids are not occupying the seat that I think someone should be occupying and buckling in. So the seatbelt sensor has been not 100% accurate in here either, in that third row especially. Signing out from the 2022 Highlander. We can't wait to test the 2023 for the changes that it brings. Hopefully it's a little bit better overall. But this is a very good vehicle overall, as long as you don't need to load it full of kids all the time, and you know, the interior doesn't bother you too much.
Right.
So, all right. Have a good day. Thank you, Cass, again for coming along and adding your motherly inputs. We need it.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. Peace out.